Tim is coming back. Tim.
What is going on, Anthony?
There you go, Tim. We got you back this time, my guy. What's up, Tim? Man, where you calling in from, Tim?
I'm calling in from Virginia.
Virginia, right around the corner from me, my brother. All right, Virginia, you married, got kids?
No, I'm a single man. I'm a single guy, so.
Single man, no kids, or you have kids?
No kids.
Single man, no kids. Okay, no kids. All right. How old are you, Tim?
I am 44.
44. All right, last question. We're going to dialogue. On average, at 44 years old, what would you say you bring in on average a year?
I'm close to accredited investor territory.
Ooh. So, in other words, this man's a baller.
All right, go ahead.
Talk to us, man. What's your thoughts on this conversation we're having?
So I think it's a great conversation, but I think one of the key components, at least for me, I think we're missing is we need to think about the conversation really should be around type of outcomes before we even get into income. Because we have to think about if you're going to now commit more time to making over six figures, that means less time that you're going to have for the household. So the conversation really need to be around, okay, if we're going to commit that we want to make more money, then we have to have the family conversation around, well, that means less time with family. But we're going to buy back our time in the future, meaning we'll be able to put away more money. So later in the future, we'll get a chance to now take advantage of our building phase. Okay. So I think that's one. And I also think the conversation, like the young lady stated, I think when you even talking or having a conversation about money, I think that it should really be around just general conversation, but we cannot always make the assumption that the person that's going to have the conversation has an understanding about money. So I think we, as individuals, we first got to have an understanding so we can have the intelligent conversation. Because I think too many times the assumption is, okay, it's almost like, how can a person say what to ask when they don't know what to ask? So I think those are two components when it comes to just dating and finances that's important. In this particular case, I think with the young lady in the 60K, I think we never really considered, though, she didn't ask the right questions, meaning she didn't even ask what was his net worth. She didn't ask if he had skills, because the key thing is his income may not be up right now, but he may have the skills that he can make the money in the future.
Yeah.
And then also, too, the reason why that's also critical, because when you think about bringing kids into the world, the dynamics may change where she may not been making as much because she want to drill back a little bit on working because she want to take care of the child. So then that's when he could have stepped up and took over the burden of the load. So I think we really got to make sure that the conversation brings some meat and potatoes to the conversation as it relates to ultimately the type of outcome that individual and that family wants for them. Yeah. Because a lot of times in finances, we kind of do the paint the brush concept, but we still got to remember the great thing about finances is individualized. So with it being individualized, you get a chance to now tell her the concepts to what makes sense for you and your family.
Now, Tim, let me ask you something, man, because I understand it, but I don't know if I agree with you 100%, right? Do you believe the more income we make, it automatically means the less time we will have with our loved ones?
I think it depends on the skill set. I think it really depends on the skill set. Because I watched one of your videos when you talked about the different skills you can start doing to start making over six figures. So you take a diver, for example. They travel, but they're also long hours.
Yeah.
You kind of see what I'm saying? So I think it really depends on the skill set. But I think that's why you need to have the conversation so you can kind of drill down and hone in on what that may look like for that individual based on their actual skills.
Yes. Yes. Totally agree. I totally agree. I do believe that everything for me, when it comes to money, like, right, for me, one of the things I've been talking to my mentors about is as a single man, I'm not looking for just someone I love. I'm looking for someone else who I love and I can build with. So on the building side of things, are we aligned? Meaning as if there may be seasons that I will be busier, but then there will be seasons to where I'm not busy at all. And as someone who has been blessed to be in the 7-figure club with what our team has built, right? I actually now have more time. But there are seasons to where, because I am making this kind of money, I got to dial in for a month or so to where I won't be as available. But it doesn't mean I forever I'm unavailable. I think if we do it right, if we are strategizing right, if we're really building the correct income, our money should be working harder than us. And that's why I teach what I'm teaching, Tim, is why are we not investing at 25? Why are we not investing at 30? Who gives a crap about, multiple shoes and rims on a car and wigs at 25, 30 years old, when you should be investing your money so your money is working harder than you? So when you turn 40, 45 years old, you can start going down in the workload that you have, and your time of freedom is coming up to where now you can do whatever you want to do. And for me, Tim, this is one thing, man, for the first time this year, I took off a whole month. My company didn't work. We make on average, a few $100,000 a month. We didn't do that in July. And I didn't care because I was like, my income is good. My staff was still paid 100% of their entire time. And my company still made over 6 figures that month. But in my head now, I'm like, I'm about to hit 40 of July next year. And a huge part of me, Tim, is this as a single man. I wish someone like yourself and myself would have looked at me at 25 and said, this $45,000 you're making right now, go invest into a 401k. Yep. I wish somebody at 25 would have told me, hey man, don't take this girl to no daggone cruise for $2,000. Man, go put that money inside of an IRA. I really did, because of why I want the outcome to be better, like what you're talking about. And it's like now at 38 going to 40, but at 39 going to 40, I'm working the hardest I've ever worked. And it's because I'm picking up on time that I wasted in my 20s.
Facts. We both done it. That's facts. So Anthony, you are dead on, and I think inside of that, that's what it goes back to the point I was really talking about outcomes, because even when you're in that building phase, you got to talk about and let the significant other know what the plan is, but you got to give them the buy-in to know that at some point things change.
That's good, Tim.
But if you don't give the buy-in, what ends up happening, they end up divorcing because they never communicated what the plan was. Because ultimately, a woman that genuinely loves a man, the most important thing to her is quality time. And if you don't communicate that I'm going to give up a little bit of quality time so later we can have all the quality time that we want and be able to do everything that she wants, as well as still taking care of some of the things that I want, then that's when you got a nucleus that's really paced together. But I think a lot of times that don't happen because we don't know to have the financial conversations like the young lady just stated, but also we don't know how to communicate about finances, because we got it. The onus on us to first go out and do our own due diligence, get ourselves in order. Then from there, now we could communicate to try to find that mate that's in sync with us.
Ooh. Tim, you talking good. Now let me tell you this, Tim. This is what the world is looking. Me and you right now. Okay, Tim is 44, making good money, right? Anthony's 40, making good money. Why are both of these black brothers single? How do you answer that question, Tim, when people say you're young, you're successful, you seem intelligent, you're making good money? Why are you single? This is what they'll tell me and you, Tim. Something's either wrong with him or something else. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, So what is your response to married people or other people when they say, well, what's wrong with you? How come you still single?
Well, because for me, one, I haven't found a mate that's willing we can come together and have a good understanding. And I got some prerequisites like anybody else. And the prerequisites is we definitely need to have the conversation. Also for me, because what's a big thing for me is I'm looking for a spouse that's going to want to raise the kids, raise the family. Because I don't want the family morals and values being taught by a system or society. I want it done in the house.
Mm.
And when you talk like this, people feel like that's kind of whatever, but I'm just like, this called standard. Because the key thing for me is I was always taught from my dad. He taught me that you can learn what to do and what not to do by watching other people.
That's good.
Pay attention. Because I was raised where God didn't create no junk. And because he didn't create no junk, you don't know who may be the answer to your prayer. So you got to keep your mind always open.
Talk, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tim. Tim, that man put on the earphones. He put on the mic, said, I'm coming to talk. But I think that's so important, man. And I want to say thank you. We're going to go into some more callers here. I'm trying to get through everyone as much as possible before we shut this thing down in about 20, 30 minutes. So thank you so much, Tim, for coming up, man. You are greatly appreciated. Put your information in the YouTube channel, Tim, so people can look you up. If your DMs are open, let them know. But Tim is... Tim is absolutely right, you guys. We got to focus on the outcome.